Hello and welcome to episode 8, I believe, of the Wake Up podcast. And you're with your host, me, Aisha.
And me, Lucy.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about spirituality and religion and beliefs and all those things there. So, yes.
But before we get into it, how was your week since our last episode?
Last episode. How long was that? That was like 2 weeks ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. Yeah. Still just vibing, chilling. Had a driving lesson. That's going all right. I'm still like quite panicky on the road. So hopefully things will get better. But she says hopefully I can pass by the end of the year. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Fingers crossed for you. You got your theory coming up soon.
Yeah, man. Listen, if it happens, it happens. And if it don't, it don't. Do you know what I mean? We just gotta, yeah.
Yeah, I barely passed mine. But we don't talk about
it. How about you? How was your week?
All right. Work is killing me yet again. Nothing new.
Yeah.
I got people in my DMs. It's a sticky situation, you know. I'm trying to avoid certain individuals. It's not going very well. Other than potentially having to deal with a mess that could come up. Other than that and work, I'm all good. I'm just chilling. I got my little headband that my friend bought me.
Yeah.
I just had a shower and I feel really tired because I've just been to the gym. So I was like, it's nice and comfy on my head. It's like a pillow, it's like a hug on my head. So I was like, okay, let's go.
We love
always
that.
look like a tramp when we film anyway, so I'm like, might as well keep it up.
Literally me and I feel like it's the Wake Up podcast. It fits in with the vibe.
Vibing.
Do you know what I mean? It's mad. It's very mad.
Oh, very mad. But yeah.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about spirituality and religion and stuff, because obviously it's something that's quite personal to us. It's something we have a lot of thoughts and opinions on, and obviously it's a very like broad subject. I feel like a lot of our episodes are quite broad subjects, and we just do like a brief overview of them. But I'm sure in the future, like in future episodes, we can go into like more specific topics. But for now, we just want to talk a bit about our personal experiences and opinions and stuff. And yeah, so I just want to start off by asking you, how would you define yourself, like spiritually? Like, it's a bit of a deep question.
How would I define myself spiritually? I'd say I wouldn't say I'm new, but I definitely say that I've taken more of a shine to it recently. How would I define myself? I would define myself as connected to energy.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes any. This is going to make me. I'm going to be the one that sounds like the crazy one on this episode. No, I'm just really connected to like people's energies. Like if someone walks in, like I think we've done this a lot at uni. I'll be like, I don't like them.
Yeah.
Straight away, I don't like them because I don't vibe that energy. So I'm connected to energies a lot of people. Apparently, if you're like that, you're an empath. I don't know what it's called. It's got a special name.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. Empathy, or
is it pantheism? No, pantheist.
No.
Okay.
It's like empathy, but it's got something else on the end of it. It's like you're an empathy something. I don't know.
Okay.
Basically, it means like you understand like other people's feelings really well and have a deep understanding and something like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's what someone said I was. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, so define myself like I don't know, energies and stuff like that. I don't know if that's really explained how I define myself. But that defines how I got into what we'll be talking about, obviously.
Yeah. No, that's very interesting, because it's true. Like when I met you, you do pick up on people's vibes quite quickly. You can say, "Oh, I don't like them," or I like them. They're cool. Like so I can definitely see that in you. But I did some research, like on basic, not necessarily religious concepts, but like, you know, you have atheism, so people that don't believe in God, and like theism, so people that believe in a god but don't have like a specific religion. And then there's another one, agnosticism.
Agnostic. I'm agnostic. So it
Oh,
basically means if there was, but I think this is what it means. It basically means if there was proof, like you had concrete proof that there was a god, then you would believe in a god.
yeah.
So I think that's what was the definition?
Okay, it says neither belief nor disbelief in the existence of any divine being, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatsoever, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's super interesting. I guess I would describe myself as theistic, so believing in the concept of God, because obviously I am Muslim, I believe in Islam, but that in itself is a very broad like statement. Like people like to put different religions and different believers into a box, so whether it be like Christianity or Islam, or like if you believe in astrology, people like to like stereotype people. So I think that's one thing like we'll be getting into today, like how broad that is, and like how people believe in different things in different ways.
My dog is interrupting this episode, by the way. Nancy, come here. She's crying. Come and say hello then. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come say hello.
Oh, there she is. Our queen.
Crying. She's been crying on the bed. I can hear her.
Oh, bless her.
Come and lie down then. Come and lie down. Lie down then. Good girl.
She's literally
she
the
so wants
cutest.
to go out. She so wants to get out of this.
She's like, get me out of here.
We move. Come on then. It's because I was eating Pringles before we start this episode. So she's after food.
Man.
Come on, out.
You gotta keep her well fed.
Where's your daddy? Go on. Oh, there she goes. She's gone. She's gone. She's gone. She moves. We move.
We move.
Let me get back to my little silk. Oh, right. Anyway, where were we for a dog interruption?
Okay. So you would describe yourself as like an agnostic. Bruh, you know what I mean. We just said it.
I'm like agnostic, but believe in like I believe a lot in like the earth.
Okay, yeah, the earth.
Like energy, because energy you can't get rid of energy. Energy just transfers. So like when someone dies, that energy transfers. Like it doesn't just go. Do you know what I mean? So I believe in like energies and like I don't know. I feel like I believe in like fate a bit as well. And
oh yeah.
I know that like is a sticky one for some people because they're like, well, why would it be fated that this person that I love is no longer with me and stuff like that. I don't really think of it as like that, but I feel like there's like loads of paths that you can take, and there's like a different fate for each one, sort of, and depending on what you take will then decide your fate. And I don't know, that's how I kind of believe in it. I don't know. And then like obviously there's like things like tarot and the cards and like things that guide you, and that's something more that I've like gotten into more recently. But I've also always been interested in it. Like I've always been interested in my star sign, which is Virgo. I've got it tattooed on me. But yeah, like a lot of people think it's like a load of rubbish, which is fine. It's not that deep. Do you know what I mean? But I just think like the stars, how is the world not affecting how we feel? Like the light can affect us, how much light we're getting, you know, how much sun we're getting, that can affect us. So how can stars and moons and the pull of the oceans and stuff like that, I don't know, I just feel like how can that not affect us as human beings that live on this earth?
Yeah.
So that's what I believe in. Crazy Aunt Lucy.
No, like definitely. I feel everyone is obviously, what's the word? Everyone has a right to their own opinion and beliefs and stuff, and it definitely makes sense. Like all beliefs are valid. Like if you think about it, like the stars and the universe, like they, like, where am I going with this sentence? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they coincide. Everything's linked. Everything's connected. Like it's very easy for people to say, "Oh, it's all a bunch of rubbish" when they see like horoscopes in a magazine. But until you like properly look into it, you realize things start to make sense.
It's really big in India as well. Horoscopes.
Is it?
I would really recommend watching Indian Matchmakers or something like that on Netflix.
Yeah.
And they are really into horoscopes. Like she would go and take 2 photos, talk to someone who does horoscopes and stuff, and see if their horoscopes align, looking at if their Venus is in their 8th house of all this stuff. That stuff I don't really know much about, but they're really, really into it in India, which I
Wow.
thought was really fascinating.
I did not know that. I need to watch that show because everyone says it's
So
really good.
good.
But yeah, that's mad. I guess for me, it's weird because obviously I was born and raised Muslim, so I've always lived a very like Islamic life. But when you think about it deeply, like what do you truly believe? Because obviously, I feel like when you're taught something, you just live it, but
Mm,
it takes like self discovery and like doing the work
mm,
yourself to truly like understand it and believe it like from the heart. So yeah, I think there's like a lot of overlap as well where like when you talk about energies and stuff and
mm,
fate, some of that does cross over into Islam. So like we believe that things do happen for a reason and like
mm.
something is meant for you. So yeah, it's weird. This whole conversation about like spirituality and religion, it's kind of because like disclaimer, I'm not trying to like everyone's belief is valid. We're not trying to say this is the right way to believe
Mm.
and this is the
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Yeah, we're just talking about our own personal like thoughts and stuff. But when I at least discuss stuff like this, it does kind of make me question everything that I've ever known. Bit of a midlife crisis, but it's fine. Do you know what I mean though? Like when you properly like think about what is our purpose, why are we here, like what we're supposed to do, like very, very deep questions. But
Mm.
yeah, it's really
I
fun.
think we're just here to straight up vibe. We're just here to have a vibe and have a good time, I think. Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
We just be out here
We're just out here
existing.
having a good time. I mean, is it a good time? We try.
Ooh,
Good move.
it was a good time until 2020 came
It,
along, but
I know, I know, I
ugh,
know. Ugh, moving mad, moving mad.
extremely mad. Okay, so my next question for us is, what does like your belief mean to you personally? So why do you think you believe the things you do, and like what struck
Oh.
you about like specific things that made you think this
Mm.
is right?
This is like the right religion or the right spirituality thing for me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, I don't know. Me and my auntie have always been interested in horoscopes and star signs because, not to be that person, but I'm a very stereotypical Virgo to the core. Like, if you look at like what Virgos are meant to be like, I am literally completely a Virgo. So that kind of first of all sets off the tone for it.
Mm,
Um, I never really, when I was younger, I actually really wanted to like believe in something like a god or something. I think, believing in something brings you comfort that you're not alone and that I don't know, it's like guidance, isn't it? So
yeah.
I always wanted to believe in something, and I've always been really interested in religions. I used to love RE at school. And I used to love, we used to go on trips to like mosques and all different places, and I loved that stuff. I thought it was fascinating, so much fun. And my mum used to travel all over the world, so I've been so exposed to different cultures, which has been really nice. But nothing really ever like hit me, and I was like, yeah, that's it for me. I never really found something, and I think I've been through a lot of stuff in my life where it kind of made me question, like, how can there be a God if this stuff is happening all around me, making me feel this way? So I think the horoscope kind of was the start of it, and I was really interested in like tarot. Never really thought, how do you get into that? I don't really know how. It seems so complicated. Never really got into it.
Mm.
Um, but then started getting into tarot a bit more. And I just one day someone followed me on my Instagram, and it was we are now friends. They do tarot, and they taught me how to do tarot. And when I started first looking into like actually getting personal readings and stuff like that and getting into it, it was really strange because in like the first week of it happening, there was one card. I think it was, what was it? I think it was strength or something like that. And it popped up 3 times continuously that week. I got an email about a tarot card of strength. I got a reading of it, and then I pulled it myself. And it's that sort of stuff I'm like, this is a bit sus to me, you know
Hold
what
on
I'm
a
saying?
minute.
Oh, hold on a minute.
Whoa,
And honestly, there's always like chances and probability and whatever, but a lot of the time, I don't know, it just seems a bit like it's a bit sus, you know what I'm saying? That this is all just happening and popping up at the same time. And I've started having a really bad time at work, so I started taking in a certain gemstone that's protection, and it's actually reduced my anxiety at work. Like, a lot of the time it feels a bit overwhelming, and at the minute it's like it's a lot of hard work, but I'm not overwhelmed. So it's just those small things. It's just like it just, for me, makes me feel comfortable. And I don't know why it really stuck. There's just something fascinating about it. And for like a whole year now, I've been watching like YouTube channels of like pick a card readings, and I love
Yeah,
them. I find them fascinating.
yeah.
um but I don't know if that's answered your question.
Oh, I mean,
But
it was a very broad question, to be honest, but yeah, yeah,
so that's kind of what stuck at the
yeah.
minute. But I kind of don't want to be seen as like the crazy lady.
No, no, I
No,
don't think
no,
you
no,
will be. No, 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 no.
no.
No, 'cause I feel like lots of people do believe in, like, tarot and like astrology and that kind of stuff as well. It's just like representation and stuff. I mean, that's something we'll
Mm,
get into in a bit. But I like what you said about like it gives you comfort. I think
mm,
because obviously no one knows if there is one right religion. Everyone just believes
mm,
their own thing, and then we just
mm,
all respect each other. I think that's the best thing to do. But if it gives you comfort and like you feel like it's right and that's how you want to
mm,
lead your life, I think that's very important. Because like you said, some people, like, they say, how can you believe in a god when all this stuff in life happens and stuff? And I think that is a valid point, because this life can be very difficult for some people, and it's not easy, it's not fun.
mm,
But like, yeah, I feel like if you believe in something, anything at all, it doesn't have to be like a specific religion, that can help you get through it. And I feel like it gives you a bit of purpose.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
yeah. This is getting very deep, but I should expect this from this episode. But yeah,
But yeah, it's, I think in life's really hard, especially now. I think anything that brings you comfort, as long as it doesn't harm anyone, I don't see what the problem is. Do you know what I mean? As long as you're not harming other people through what you believe and what you are enjoying, then why not? Do you know what I mean? Everyone believes
exactly.
in stuff, even not just spirituality. Everyone has their own beliefs and opinions. Do you know what I mean? As long as you're not hurting anyone, what's the problem? Do you know
Literally,
what I mean?
that's the key. The key is literally respect. And I know there's a lot of issues going on in the world right now, like to do with rights and stuff. So I think obviously that's something we as like the human race need to work on and work through. But it one thing it does make me do, like, is really appreciate like good relationships and good people. Like, I'm so glad I'm friends with someone like you who's very
Mm,
open-minded, and we can accept each other's beliefs and like
mm,
discuss things and not
mm,
offend each other and genuinely learn. Like,
mm,
you've always, like you said, always been very interested in religion and stuff. And like,
mm,
obviously the first year that we met, the first Ramadan, we talked a lot about it, and then obviously you fasted a day with me, and I was just like, so you did that, like, so what's the word, happy, I guess. That's quite a vague word, but like, for someone to take interest in what you believe, because usually, like when I was younger, we all accepted it and talked about it, but we just dismissed it. But because
mm,
obviously, like, I was growing up Muslim and I've been brought up Muslim, I'm still learning about it myself. So to have a friend support me that closely and like go through it together, I think
mm,
that's really good. And it's good to surround yourself with people that, even if you don't share similar beliefs, to support each other.
mm,
Because yeah, I think it's good for everyone to believe in something, no matter what it is. So,
mm,
and respect each other's beliefs as well. So
mm.
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
hard. It's not hard to respect other people's beliefs. Do you know what I mean? You don't
mm,
have to understand it to respect it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I
literally,
think it's nice to learn about other things as well. It makes your life more enriched. Learning about other cultures, you get exposed to so much new things that you didn't even realize existed, or you know you never been a part of before. So I think it's nice to take it in and learn other things about other people's cultures.
definitely, definitely, yeah. Because we're so diverse, like, in the world. Like, I feel like it's a waste. It's a shame if you don't
Mm,
take the time
mm,
to learn about it. But
exactly.
yeah, Yeah, I think it's really cool. Like, like it always makes me happy. Like when you try and learn Arabic words as well. Like,
Ah,
come on,
no,
throw some
some
out,
Arabic.
throw some out for us.
Ya Allah, Masha Allah.
MashaAllah.
Assalamu alaikum. What else do I
Like,
know?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
Astaghfirullah.
yeah, you got it. You got it. My G, we out here. My mum is trying to convert her. She tried. She fasted that one
And,
Ramadan with me, and then my mum was
and
like,
it
"Let's
was
go."
over. Let's go. It's over. It's
Mission
over for her.
Lucy, make Lucy a Muslim. Let's go.
Let's go.
Nah,
Oh, I'm
nah.
so too unholy to be a Muslim.
For
I,
the,
I live such a haram life.
the door is always open. It's fine. We can hook you up.
We can sort it
Okay.
out. Oh dear.
So
Did you answer your own question?
I don't even think I did. You know.
What was the question?
Well, oh, okay. Why did it?
Well, why was it right for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a bit tricky. Well, it's not really tricky, but like I said, I was born into it, so I didn't really have a choice. It's just normal life for me,
Mm,
and I guess like there's people that leave Islam. Like when you grow up and like become an adult and lead your own life, you don't have to stay Muslim. It's like what your parents like teach you, but once you become adult, you can obviously do
mm,
what you want. But I guess for me, why I'm still Muslim, because obviously there's people that were born Muslim and then just lead different lives and it's not right for them, is that it has given me a lot of comfort and things just make sense.
mm.
Like, I don't know, it's, hmm.
Bro, your questions are bamboozling yourself.
Yeah, I'm literally bamboozled. It just feels right. Like when I look at everything in my life and how it works out
Mm,
and stuff. Like obviously I know that there's no religion is perfect. There's a lot of corruption in religions and stuff, and
mm,
like different perspectives and like
mm,
extremism. There's extremism in every religion, and like
mm.
there's different ways of believing it. But I don't know. I just feel like it just feels right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The way I've been taught it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I feel
yeah.
you. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
It's mad. It's very very mad. But how do you feel like your belief, like how society sees it, and like the misconceptions that people have about it, has it ever deterred you? That's kind of tricky for you to answer because obviously you said you're a bit new to this, but yeah,
Mm.
have you ever like questioned it and like what are your thoughts surrounding? Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely not been put off from it because a lot of people hate on horoscopes and star signs and stuff like that because I think it's just like a load of hocus pocus basically. So like obviously I'm put off because I'm quite a big person of like what people think of me and what I'm doing. So sometimes it's been a bit like but then at the same time like I've kind of had a lot of support from Anna, who's basically like my spiritual guide throughout the last couple of months. But yeah, I've sometimes I'm a bit like embarrassed to say to people like, "Oh, yeah, I've got tarot cards." Do you know what I mean? But I think actually a lot of people are quite curious about it. I put on my Instagram story a while back, like, does anyone want a card pulling? I just felt like really like in the zone to pull some cards. And a few people did and was like, I don't really know anything about tarot, but this would be really interesting to see what you do. Um, so yeah, I definitely feel sometimes like it's going to put people off me, especially romantically, because I feel like someone will feel like they're walking into like some crazy ass woman who's like over her like cauldron, like, do you know what I mean? Like whipping up some spells. But I don't know. Um, yeah, I have definitely felt pressure. But I think I've got to the age now where I'm just like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm too old now to
we haven't
care.
got
Like,
time.
yeah, I ain't got time. Life's too
Yeah.
short. So yeah, I don't feel it as much, but I'm definitely scared to like go full blown like witch. Because that's what basically people call themselves. They call themselves witches. So
Yeah.
I'm like, that term to me it's not that it's cringy, but it's a bit like you're crazy. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? So,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, I just don't think it's that deep.
Yeah, it's not. And I think it's quite sad because, yeah, people have, especially society as a whole, and they
Mm,
force that image onto people like the idea of being a witch is crazy. But if you
mm,
think about it, that's probably because they've been like, what's the word, used in fantasies and
mm.
like
And they've
films
been
and stuff.
persecuted. They've
Yeah.
been burnt in actual real life and stuff. Years and years ago, used to burn and drown women, didn't they? Thought they were
Yeah,
witches. There's a whole
whole
thing.
thing.
There's
Yeah.
Muslim witches as well, you know.
Yeah, I
I know we
recently
spoke
saw
about
that.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were like, let's be a Muslim witch
Let's
and do
go, let's
some
go! Get the broom
manifestation.
out right now. Let's
Nah,
go.
no, but yeah, I think it's definitely down to society and like the representation of it. It's
Mm,
quite sad that you feel like sometimes you have to tone it down and you can't
mm,
go full and fully explore that. But yeah, I think it's good because we live in an age now in social media where you can share that stuff and like meet people like you met
mm,
Anna online and stuff, and like people became interested. So yeah, it's definitely, well, I wouldn't say it's easier, but I feel like you take more pride in it and you're
mm.
more like enthusiastic as you're growing up as well. Um, for me, what's the question again? Okay, so how
What's like,
society?
has anything ever put you off?
Yeah, so
Deterred you?
I guess for Muslims and Islam, obviously
They'll get a bad rep, man.
we do. We're just out here living, man. We really do. I feel like that stereotype, I feel like it was very popular like probably 10 years ago, obviously around the time of 9/11 and stuff. Like
Mm,
people love to say, oh, Muslims are terrorists, all this, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it kind of, well, when all that those stereotypes were going around, obviously we were quite young. So it felt really weird to like hear people say that and like something that you spent your whole life believing and growing up and
mm,
learning, and like people saying, oh, you're bad because of it. It's been really weird. And I wouldn't say that in itself deterred me, but like just the idea of something that you've always known for your whole life not being
mm,
right. And yeah, it's just very weird. It's like your identity is
mm.
fake. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I guess like as I've grown up and I've seen people like the different spectrums of Muslims as well, like people saying, oh, Islam wasn't for me, people who have left Islam,
Mm,
and people who have been like super strict with it. It's a lot going on. Like when you're growing up and you're thinking, because you're already dealing with the pressures of growing up, going to school and like
mm,
wanting to fit in and stuff. And like when you want to be, say, a good Muslim, there's lots of like people who say, oh, you have to do this, you can't do this. And like, oh, you can do this.
that's
Do you
the
know what I
same.
mean?
That's the
Yeah.
same for like doing like tarot and like being a witch and stuff.
Oh,
Like there's
really?
a lot of people like you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. But when I speak with Anna, they're like, you just do it the way you want. It's all about intention. That's what tarot is definitely about. It's all about intention. Like you use your cards the way you want to use them, the way that they speak to you. There's no right or wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You're just doing your best and you're enjoying it. Again, it's all comes to this idea of comfort. If it brings you comfort and it brings you, you know, the messages and the answers that you need, then that's what it's there for. It's the
Yeah.
same with religion. There's no real, I mean, obviously there is obviously going to be an absolute wrong way of doing anything, but there's
Mm-hmm.
no real wrong or right way, I think,
Yeah.
to be anything. Do you know what I mean?
Literally, as long as it does for you what you need it to do,
Mm,
I think that's the most important thing. Like what other people are saying is
mm,
not important at all, especially when it comes to religion. Because say for Islam, obviously we have our God Allah, and you know we have to pray to Him and like praise Him, and when we talk to Him for all sorts of things, ask for forgiveness, for guidance, for
mm,
anything in our lives. So obviously, when you have such an important God in your religion, I just sometimes think, if I'm praying to God, why am I listening to you?
mm,
Why are you telling me what to do? And
mm,
do you know what I mean? And because it's coming from so many different people saying so many
mm,
different things, I think it can be a lot to take. And
mm,
that has sometimes made me think, I don't even want to do this. If it's,
mm,
I'm always going to be wrong. If there's
mm.
always something better to do, then yeah, it's quite sad. Like, that in itself has pushed me away at some
It's
time.
always the people. It's never the idea or the message. It's always the people that ruin
Yeah.
it for everyone else. That's what
Why
I
can't
always
we
say.
have anything nice? We can't have
I
anything
know, we literally can't have anything nice because of people.
literally. Man, people ruin everything. But
But
yeah,
that's the whole idea, isn't it? We get tested. That's the part. That's the whole point of religion and like spirituality. You're getting tested by your faith, aren't you? So
literally. Yeah.
it's mad.
It's very mad. That's a very big part of Islam as well, like how this life is a test and you've just got to try your best throughout. So yeah, even like these challenges that I say I've faced, like questioning it, like that, I'd say that's part of the test. And
Mhm.
thankfully for me, I think I've come out stronger because of it. And obviously, I'm not a perfect Muslim. I've still got loads more things to learn and a long way to go. But I feel like I'm more solid than I used to be because of those things that could have potentially deterred me away. And yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
It's a journey, isn't it?
yeah,
You've got a whole life ahead of you. There's a lot of learning and a lot of experiences to go through. So
exactly. I feel like we'll never stop learning, especially when it comes to stuff like spirituality and
mm,
stuff. Yeah.
you're always gonna have different experiences that make you question or make you believe, or do you know what I mean? So
Mm.
it's a sticky one.
It is. It is indeed. Okay.
It is.
So my next question is, how does your beliefs and stuff play a part in your daily life? Like in the way you act, the way you talk to people and the things that you do say, like you say, you pull tarot cards and stuff, like
Mm.
how, like what about you like fits into that belief, would you say? And what about
Ah,
do you enjoy?
okay. How many questions was that?
About 10.
How does it play a part in my everyday life? I do find it hard. I'm still getting used to work, even though I've been saying that on the podcast for like how many weeks now. Um, but sometimes I try and do the small things. So one way, this is going to sound really stupid, but one way to keep up spirituality here when I don't have time is lighting candles,
Okay.
setting a tone and an atmosphere. Again, about like feeling energies and stuff, setting a tone for myself. That's one way that I do it. So I have like a, I don't know what you'd call it. I have where you put the candle in. There's like on top, it's like it burns and it's nice smells. And
Yeah.
aromatherapy is one thing that people do with like spirituality. Like different smells can make you feel certain ways. So I've got lavender that apparently helps you sleep and stuff like that. So like little things is what Anna tried to reinforce in me, that like, you know, if I feel the need one day to search something up, follow my intuition. Intuition is a massive part of like tarot, gemstones, energies, crystals, and the stars. If your intuition tells you something, you have to follow it. Like it's like, I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know, if you pray and you feel a certain way and maybe that like makes you feel that I need to follow this path or whatever. It's kind of
Yeah.
like the same thing. It's like your gut is telling you you have to do this. um so I try to follow my intuition in daily life as well. And when I was talking with Anna, I realized that, you know, before I really started taking it more seriously recently, this year, I had been doing things that weren't making me comfortable with certain people,
Mm.
certain relationships, friendships, all that stuff, things that I knew in my gut, my intuition was screaming at me that this isn't what you want, this is, you know, something's wrong here, or this is what you want, and I'm not taking those opportunities. Like, I now realize now that I have to listen to that a lot more, which may just be a common sense thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, and then also, like, sometimes I'll get intuition to like pull cards. So all of a sudden, I just have an urge to pull a card. So I do that. Sometimes I'll give myself a little reading if I get time. I also do this thing called the balance life wheel or something, and I divide it up, and you see how far you are on all of them. So it's like 1 to 10. How close do you feel you are? Your mental health, your spirituality. So in a way, it also like helps my mental health as well, because it's like
Yeah.
guiding me, reassuring me, and helping me look out for scenarios that I don't want to be in. And even my therapist that I was seeing, she said tarot is a brilliant thing to be continuing with after therapy, because it's like a check-in with yourself. You're checking in how you're feeling and what's going on in your life. So that's how I use it in my daily life. And then obviously I mentioned earlier I take my some of my gemstones with me to certain places when I feel anxious. And like I wear a necklace to work now, and I take a little gemstone in my pocket, which I actually should like get a necklace of or something, because I'm always worried I'm gonna fucking lose it. But yeah, I don't know what else. Oh, obviously I get readings sometimes. I've had a lot of readings off of Anna. I had one about what my next year being 21 is going to be like, and
Yeah.
I've had some closure about friendships that are over. And yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. It's good. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
It's the best thing to
It's the
do,
best.
really.
It's the only thing. Go do it right now.
Don't do anything else. Do this.
Just this right now. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's answered your question. That's how I use it. I need to do more, and I want to learn. I mean, Anna always says if you look at a tarot card, you're reading tarot. Anyone can
Okay.
read tarot. If you look at the card, you're reading it, which is really nice.
Yeah.
But I want to like get more in depth of like the meanings behind them and stuff. I have so many cards. Here, I'll show them for our visual audience. I'll show all the cards that I have in like such a small space of time. I don't know why I have these all. So I have like the original Rider tarot deck. I have Animal Wisdom guide cards. I have these are again tarot cards, but they're just so cute.
Oh,
Let me just show you one. It's just the art style I love on
yeah.
them. How cute that is.
Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
that's so drawn so
Cute.
nice. And then have like affirmation cards, which you know what aren't even in a way like it's not that deep into tarot and stuff. It's like just stuff to check in with yourself. It'll be like reminders of like being maybe you need to strengthen your trust, or you need positive thinking. It's just things that you can pull each day to like just give you a bit of guidance each day, which I mean is spiritual, but it doesn't have to be deep, because I think some people think if they get in too deep then
Yeah.
not right thing for them. I've
I
got
feel
a
like
dream deck. Oh, sorry, carry on.
it's all right. I was just gonna say that I feel like a lot of people are scared to get into it, but like stuff like
Yeah.
affirmations and stuff, that can just be a positive thing to do for
Yeah.
your mental health.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good.
I have a dream deck, which is interesting. I'm not sure how I feel right now. I don't feel very connected to the cards, but it's about like putting things into your own dreams and controlling your dreams. And I was like, damn,
Oh,
I
that's
want to do that.
mad.
That sounds cool.
Let's go for it now,
Let's
right
go
now.
right now. I also have palm reading cards, just because I thought they were really interesting. I'll just tell you what your palm, different lines on your palms meant to mean. I
I've
don't really
always
look
been
at all.
interested in that.
I know it's mad. Then there's the self-care oracle, which basically you pull it and it just like gives you guidance on like something you should do for yourself. So if I just pulled one now, family, so like probably spending time with family or something like that. So they're cute little cards to pull, especially like when you're feeling run down, or you don't know what to do but you need some time for yourself. And then the last ones, I love these ones. They're the Starseed Oracle. They're beautiful cards. They're like guidance cards, and I got bought these for my birthday. They're so beautiful.
Wow, yeah, that's
And then
pristine.
it comes with a book, and it tells you all about it and all that jazz. Anyway, so they're all my cards. How have I managed to get all these cards? I don't know, but maybe it was meant to be. Maybe it was fated.
Exactly. Maybe it was. This is the
Maybe
path.
this is
So
the path.
yeah, I like that. I like what your therapist said. That it's good
Mm,
for you to do because it's checking in with yourself. I feel
mm,
like no matter what, even if you don't want to be religious, you don't need to believe in anything. But people need to do that. People don't do that, and I think it's
People need
very
to check
important.
in with themselves. I think it's really important,
100%.
just to see how you're feeling, and because sometimes you're so caught up in like your daily life, you haven't even recognized like how you're feeling, how it's affecting you, and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So
Honestly,
yeah.
yeah.
What about you?
That's good. Yeah, I guess in my daily life, there's a lot of things that come like in Islam and religion and stuff. I like that you said about your intuition in the past before you were into all of this. There was times where you felt like, things weren't right. And
Mm,
I feel like it's all about, if you have your core beliefs, if you know what feels right for you and what you stand by, then that's something you can always refer back to, because everyone will
mm,
always have dilemmas in life where they don't know what the right things to do is, and like
mm,
if something is good for them, and if there's something that makes them uncomfortable, you feel a bit like, oh, should I be okay with this? Should I just do it? But if you have your core beliefs, you know what you stand for, and I think that will help you in those situations. But yeah, for me, daily stuff, I guess, for like my daily routines, obviously Muslims have to pray 5 times a day. It's one of the 5 pillars that we have to do. So yeah, prayer is super, super important. It's one of the most important things you can do. And I guess that's just kind of like a time to talk and to connect with God, and
mm,
yeah, praise him, I guess, because pray is very important. I feel weird even talking about it now, because I guess, like, how people perceive Islam and stuff, it's
mm,
all very like, people always think it's like a cool, and so, oh, you have to praise God. That's very like,
mm,
extreme. But when you build a connection with God, I feel like it's something you can't replicate
mm,
in any other way in life. So
mm,
yeah, I feel like it's very important, and it does make you feel better in a way. It does, like, it's just a time, like you said, out of your busy everyday life, to
mm,
just breathe, to get everything, just be thankful for your existence and the good things in life, and just, yeah, look at where
mm,
you are in life and how far you've come and everything.
mm.
I think that's quite cool. um yeah, there's loads of other bits to Islam as well. Like, for me, for it's a bit of controversial subject, but like, the way you present yourself is very important in Islam. Like,
Mm,
people think when it comes to appearance in Islam, it's women are oppressed. You have to cover up. You can't
mm,
do this. You can't do that. But I feel like that's not the case at all. It's all about modesty. I think modesty is a very important thing in Islam, and it's not just about like how you dress and what you wear, but it's about like how you speak and how you treat people as well.
mm,
Yeah, so respect is a very big thing, and yeah, yeah, there's lots to it.
mm.
Mm.
So, what's your opinion on like wearing headscarves? It's not all Muslims wear headscarves.
No, no, it's definitely, it's not like, it's not obligatory. It doesn't say anywhere in the Quran that women must cover up, but it's definitely recommended. I feel like my thoughts on it personally is like, it's not to please anyone but God and myself, and it's almost like
Mm,
uniform as well. I feel like when I
mm.
wear it, I'm
Have an
like,
identity.
exactly, yeah, it's an
Yeah.
identity. It like makes me feel like a stronger Muslim as well.
Mm,
Yeah, because for me, I'm not that bothered about like how other people see me. It's about how
mm,
I present myself and how I represent myself.
mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I kind
I
of,
suppose it'd be the same thing as like me wearing a necklace with a gemstone on.
yeah.
So it makes you feel more connected somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
It sounds weird to other people. I bet like non-believers are like, here we
Oh,
go.
what the hell are they talking about? They're crazy.
They're crazy. But yeah, I guess obviously people that believe in the same things that we do can understand that
Mm,
when you feel that connection, it improves your whole like mood, and it just makes you
mm,
feel stronger. So yeah, I think when it comes to the headscarf for me, there's definitely times where my relationship with it wasn't what it should have been, because I guess, okay, so we're gonna do a quick my hijab story.
okay, let's go.
Okay, so I started wearing it when I was 16, and I guess the reason why I started wearing it is because like I thought it would make me a good Muslim. If I put this on my head, I would be
Uh,
perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like,
mm,
I would just magically become this great person and have my life together, and obviously that was not the case. So like, obviously a few years later, I was like, a part of me was like, do I still want to wear this? Is this the right thing to do? But yeah, you do see influencers all the time take their headscarves off, and like people are always in their comments starting like controversies and dramas like,
mm,
you're a bad Muslim, you're a bad representation for young Muslim girls, you shouldn't do this. But obviously it's their personal journey, and I think there isn't a problem with that, and that, because it's always men.
mhm,
Men should just mind their business.
mm,
But, yeah, I guess for me, I just kept it on because I felt like, obviously, when you're going through a struggle like that, that's a moment of weakness. And I know that sounds like, I'm straying away from Islam and stuff, and like the way I'm wording it is very weird, but like it's not a bad thing to want to take it off. But if you do, that's completely fine. But like I thought I'd keep it on during that moment just to see where I end up, and obviously I've decided to keep it on and I've become stronger in my faith. So that's just my personal journey.
Mm,
But yeah, it's just a personal journey, really. It
yeah.
depends on the person and what you're feeling.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people get really confused with what Muslims wear and do they have to wear it. And I think it's really important that we reiterate that it is each person's journey. And I'm not going to say that there's not Muslims out there that are not, being forced to wear it. I'm sure there are people, but it's the same for everything. It's the same for everything. There's always someone who's doing something bad in every group. There's always a feminist that goes too far. There's always a Muslim that goes too far. Do you know what I mean? There's always a man that goes too far.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's always a group of people that ruin it for the rest. So we're not saying that doesn't happen. We're just saying that the reality of it is it's a choice by the individual person about what they believe makes them feel closer to God and makes them feel like a Muslim. And if
Yeah.
that's to wear it, then that's great. If it's not to wear it, then that's also great. So
100%. You literally hit the nail on the head. Like,
period.
period. I guess, like, to sum up this entire episode in 30 seconds, just respect other people and their beliefs. That's all we're trying to say here.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do you feel like, obviously, because you said it was a year ago you started getting really into it, do you feel like you've changed as a person, and like how other people have treated you as well? Do you feel like that's changed and stuff?
I think that's a good question. I think I don't think people have treated me different, but I do feel like I've become more like less bothered at the minute. I don't know. Obviously, I've just finished therapy as well, so it's also come across. They've both come at the same time, so they've kind of supported one another. But I feel like, yeah, I don't really care anymore, and I'm kind of getting to a point where like I feel like I'm coming to my final form. My final Pokemon form is like happening. Do you know what I mean?
I get you.
I don't know. I just feel more like me at the minute. Like I feel like it was a part of me that like I was into already, but I hadn't fully explored. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel just like I just feel older. I don't know if that even makes sense. I just feel like an older person. Like I don't feel like a child anymore. I feel like I've grown up a lot in the
Yeah.
last. I mean, I feel like I've always been grown up. I've always looked after everyone. I just feel like within myself, I feel a lot more like I can guide myself a lot more. And
Do
I
you feel
think that
like,
confuses a lot of people as well. I think
yeah.
that in that way that people have perceived me that they're like, oh, she's changing.
Oh yeah. Do you feel like that's like you feel older and wiser because you're starting to understand things? Because obviously that's what you believe and that's what makes sense to you. And now obviously you're leaning into that more and learning about that things are making sense. That's why you
Mm.
feel like more mature and more wise and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, in one of my readings, my next year of my life is going to be a lot of discovering what I want out of my life. So the reading says. So I think that will obviously be a journey with my cards and my faith in the world and the planet, and my fate. So I think that it will change me a lot. I think it's going to be a good guidance. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I feel like in the way that people have treated me, um, it's weird. Kind of like mixed reactions. So a lot of people, I guess the more general thing is that a lot of people just don't know. They're just a bit ignorant. They
Yeah.
just, yeah. So not necessarily like offensive or whatever, but they just don't know a lot about Islam because all they've been exposed to is what the media tell them, what they see in the
Mm.
news, what comedians say. So like when people meet a Muslim, and I was like one of the only Muslims like in my year group at school, like growing up and stuff. It's like, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? What would happen if you had a bit of pork? If you had a sip of alcohol, would you die? Do you know, that sort of thing? And I'm like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just interesting. It's always fun for me to like
Mm.
teach people and explain my perspective, but it's also kind of weird as well because I know that my perspective is not like the one overarching perspective
Yeah,
of,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and there's
I
a lot
I
that
can
I don't
relate to
know.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that not only like with like spirituality, but like obviously being vegan as well.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm a vegan, but what I believe is not what everyone else believes,
Hmm.
and what I do is not necessarily right or wrong. Like,
The people come
uh,
up to you
yeah,
like, what would happen if you had some egg?
yeah, yeah, yeah. People are like, so what happens if you ate meat? I'm like,
Mm.
well, I wouldn't, but nothing. I'm not gonna die. I used to eat meat. I just don't eat meat anymore.
Yeah.
They're like, and then they're like, oh, what else do people say? Like, yeah, but why can't you? Well, why can't you do this? Because that's what I believe that it's wrong, so I don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, what else am I meant to say? You know
Literally.
what I mean?
I feel like
Uh,
people, especially with veganism and like Islam, people expect us to be like, what you're doing is wrong. Stop it right now.
yeah,
Become vegan, become a Muslim. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's not like that. I don't know
yeah.
what people want. It's mad.
I don't know what people want from me either. I'm just out here vibing, trying to have a good time.
Hey, you eat your chicken and we'll
And
enjoy
I'll eat
smoking.
my chicken. My chicken. Made
Chicken.
out of chicken.
Yes.
Okay? You eat your chicken, I eat my chicken. Okay?
Period. I love that.
Period.
But yeah.
But yeah.
No, going back to like how people like treat me and stuff, I feel like, yeah, it's nice to be able to talk to about it and discuss it with people and educate each other and enrich each
Mm.
other because, yeah, the more we learn about different cultures and religions, the better. And obviously, representation as well. If people, all people have been exposed to is negative representations, to be that positive representation, teach people is
Yeah.
actually a really nice feeling.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like me, like a lot of people are like, well, why did you go vegan? And they ask me about my experiences. And at the end of the day, if everyone went vegan, honestly, my heart would obviously like explode. I'd be so happy that there'd be like, obviously, being vegan does not mean that there's no cruelty, or like people being exposed to hard labor and stuff. Like a lot of like other countries, there's really hard labor just getting vegetables. I'm not saying my life is completely cruelty free, but like obviously I don't like the harming of animals and stuff like that. So obviously everyone's going to be like, oh, if people went vegan, you'd be happy for them. But I'm not going to make anyone go vegan. Not everyone can go vegan. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot
Yeah.
of people with eating disorders. There's a lot of people that can't because of health reasons, and so it doesn't align with other people's beliefs and stuff like that. I'm not out here to tell someone how to live their life. I may give them some advice. If they ask me and they're curious about that lifestyle and they want to know about it, obviously I might push it a bit and be like, well, maybe you should look into this. And da, da,
Yeah.
da. I'm not
Yeah.
going to force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. Like, that's like that's like a bad person. That's like not good for spirituality either. Like pushing something. I think it's all about guiding. Like you can guide someone, but you can't push someone.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I feel like that's the case with all beliefs as well, of course. Like there's always people that are gonna force their beliefs on each other. And
Mm,
there's like you said, there's obviously it's not 0% of cruelty freeness in
mm,
veganism. There's always gonna be a little bit. And I feel like for religion as well, the corruption is one thing that's like causing the problems because the reason why people are like, for example, Islamophobes are so against stuff because there are extremists in the world that are doing
mm,
terrible things. You know, there's countries where women are forced to wear hijab, they don't have as many rights, and people get it confused. It's very complex. So lots of
mm,
things have to do with culture and stuff, and like
mm.
people groups and people that want to oppose that won't take the time to look into it. They'll just say, oh, that's what they're like. That's what
That's
they will
one
do.
representation. That must be the rest of it then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. And it's just awful because obviously it's like an endless circle. So if that's how they treat people, then people who are opposed to it are gonna like treat them badly, and they're gonna continue.
Mm,
And do you know what I mean? Yeah.
mm,
So it's just a downside to it, and I think that's the cause of a lot of hate and like
mm,
disruption and war in this world.
mm,
So yeah, that's
100%.
a downside too.
100%. 100%.
spirituality and stuff. But yeah, I guess that's kind of all my points. I didn't have a lot of
Is
points
it?
because yeah, it's quite
We have spoke quite a lot though.
yeah. I think we've touched on quite a few things because it's a very broad and like kind of vague subject. So there's a lot
Mm,
going on, and it's hard to like
really.
encompass everything without going into
Mm,
specifics. But yeah, it's a weird thing to like properly deep your religion on what do you believe
mm.
without getting too philosophical and stuff.
It is deep though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the way you live your life. It's the rules. It's like your morals. It's like the set of rules you live by, isn't it? Everyone has
Hmm.
their own set of rules, whether that's
Yeah.
because of spirituality or not. You know, everyone has their own morals, which I think is important. If you don't have morals, then I think that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But
It's like, how do you live your life? I don't, I'm not saying everyone has to be religious or whatever, but I think it would be good if everyone believed in something, like
mm,
even if it's just like energies or stars
mm,
or, you know, anything at all, because I feel like this life, it's quite a sad thought to think we're just born into a
mm,
society, we go to school, we get a job, we work, then we die, and
live,
that's
and we
it.
die. Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be more to it, I
Mm,
think. Yeah.
mm. I know my dad believes in people. That's what he says. He believes in people. That's
Okay.
his belief. So he
Yeah.
believes in the people. So I mean, I haven't really. I'm not having these deep conversations with him, but in the past when we've spoken about it, he says he believes in people. So I think it's nice for people to believe in what they believe in. So
Yeah. I get you. That's
we're
quite
all just
interesting.
vibing. We're
We're
just
all
vibing.
just vibing,
We're vibing
believe in
out
what
here.
you want.
Yeah.
But
Just
yeah.
chill. Just relax. Relax.
Relax. The chill is fine.
Yeah.
Honestly. But yeah.
So.
I wish like religion didn't have such a bad rep and like all the
Mm.
beliefs didn't have such a bad rep. Like we could just all
Again,
respect
it's
each other.
people. It's
It,
people. People. Someone's always got to let the side down.
honestly,
Someone's always got to let the side down.
always. I hate
Always.
that.
Always. There's always one. There's always one. Ruins it for everyone else.
Honestly, we hate it here.
That's what
Come
annoys me when
on.
people are like, oh, Black Lives Matter, da 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 da, or oh, religion, da da da, or I don't know, feminist. Da, da. Listen, what don't you get? That there's always going to be someone that's an idiot. Like, don't listen to
Mhm.
every one person's opinion on the subject does not mean that is the opinion of everyone else. Calm down, relax,
Literally. I think
relax.
one way to look at it is just to treat people as individuals. If we could
Mm,
just stop grouping people and putting them in a box and categorizing them.
mm,
Obviously, like if you want to call yourself a Muslim, you are, no matter which way you believe, no matter how you pray. But like if you just stop categorizing people and just like base people and treat them on how you meet them and how they
mm,
treat you, you know what I mean?
yeah.
That would be a good way to like
Mm.
solve not everything, but yeah.
It would make people relax,
Yeah.
relax.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, that's our thoughts on spirituality, religion, briefly. But we also have something in the last 5 minutes. But I was wondering, shall I pick a card for the episode?
oh, that would be good. Okay, go on.
I want to pick one of these ones because they're cute.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about the subject this week? And I'll shuffle cards and stuff. And
Okay.
I'll mute myself while you talk. So you can't hear me shuffling. But I'll
Okay.
shuffle some cards. You talk about the last thing that we wanted to.
Sounds good. All right. So, as you guys must know, every episode we like to spend the last 5 minutes just to bring awareness to something, whether it be like a business or a charity or something going on in the world right now. And this week we wanted to talk about the concentration camps in China and the Uyghur Muslims, because obviously it kind of fits into this whole theme of beliefs and stuff, and obviously these people are being discriminated against for their beliefs. So just in case you don't know what's happening currently, since 2017 an estimated 3 million Muslims have been kept inside concentration camps in China in the Xinjiang area. Probably mispronounced that, but yeah, please forgive me. Yeah, so these camps were set up to offset extremism going on in the area, and mainly Muslim ethnic minority groups, such as the Uyghurs, are being forcibly detained. So these Muslims are being tortured, they live in brutal conditions, and they often face death. So yeah, they're being forced to do horrible things such as eat pork and alcohol, chant phrases against the Islamic belief. They're being forced into marriages, to have abortions, and basically just denounce the Islamic religion. And like I previously said, it was to try and offset extremism in the area, but a lot of people say that the Chinese authorities are trying to like eradicate Islam. So it's basically an ethnic cleansing. And I saw a post, I didn't make note of it,
Mm.
but like the death count has like exceeded the death count of Jews in the Holocaust. So that's really scary to think
Mm.
that something like that is happening in the present day. So yeah, we've just got to, it's hard when you hear things that happen like this, you think, what can I do? And
Mm.
yeah, it's scary, but obviously there's lots of charities to support and petitions to help. So there is a card link that I'll put in the description with lots of information so you can read more, donate, and obviously sign petitions. But yes, just keep spreading awareness as well, educate yourself,
Mm.
and when the time comes to vote, vote for people that, you know, that will stand up for these
Help.
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a bit sus, like it's not in the media a lot.
Mm,
It's very
yeah,
suspicious if you ask me. But I'm not trying to be
extremely.
one of them people that say, you know, it's
Conspiracy,
a conspiracy.
No, but
That's a bit
it's
sus to
true.
me.
Yeah, when you hear like something this big happening and there's not a lot of coverage, you know, something's not right. But yeah, it's
Okay,
crazy.
so the card that I pulled, like I was reading about it. I will try and summarize instead of reading it because it's a bit complicated what it's saying. But
Okay.
it was quite fitting for the episode.
Really?
Um, yes, it's called Star Bathing. So it says light body, crystal grid, transmission activation. So basically, it's kind of a bit spiritual. So I won't go too deep into it, but it's basically talking about um, being connected to this crystalline grid of the earth and uh, basically it talks about what the crystalline grid is, and it says if you've pulled this card that you may be being called to begin work with the stars and the crystalline grid of the earth. Some people believe that the crystalline grid of the earth anchors divine cosmic frequencies onto the planet. You may be guided to journey to particular places on earth to unlock these cosmic codes with your presence. You may be it talks about where you can look at the practice of star bathing. And it says this card will commonly arise because you're here to connect with the crystalline grid of the earth, either in your hometown or by traveling to other places without quite knowing why. So maybe if you've been feeling like you want to go to a certain town or a certain place in your hometown or somewhere in the world, I mean, with COVID, that's quite hard. I think this card is saying, go to these places that you want to go to. There's something there that's pulling you there for a reason. And it says it can also mean that your light body, the energy body in its highest form, is being activated. If this resonates, take extra time to slow in order to integrate these changes of vibrations. So it's quite interesting. It's quite I think it's fitting for this episode to saying that it wants you to begin something. It wants you to
Yes.
travel. It wants you. Listen, I ain't forcing nothing on any of you, but what I'm
Disclaimer.
saying is. A disclaimer, do not sue me, but I think it's interesting that it wants, maybe there's someone out there that's listened to this and who's been thinking maybe I've been interested in it, or this card's definitely telling you that this is the right time, and go somewhere. It's hard with COVID, but if there's somewhere in your hometown that you've always wanted to go and you don't know why, you've just been pulled to this place. Like for me, it's Market Harbour. Don't ask me why. Don't know why, but I'm gonna go now. I've
Where
pulled this
is
card.
that? Where is that?
It's not far from where I live, so
Okay.
it's about 40-minute drive. So I know there's like a eco market thing where they do all vegan stuff. So somebody's pulling me to go there, I think.
Yeah.
So that's the card for the episode. I hope you enjoyed what we've had to say. I think it's really interesting, really
It has
enlightening.
been. I feel like it's kind of been like another therapy session just to get really deep into it, because it's not often that we have these conversations about what we believe, what we think our purpose is, and all that.
Yeah.
So it's nice to kind of discuss that. But
A little bit of therapy. We love
do.
it.
We really do.
Stan.
We
Look
stand.
at us being emotionally available human beings, because apparently I'm emotionally inept. So look out for me.
I do. We love this progress. Look at
We
it.
love this. Oh dear.
So
So,
yeah, that's the end of this episode. It's been very deep. I hope you've
Woo.
enjoyed. And no matter what platform you are listening on, I hope you've enjoyed, because we are now available on multiple platforms, baby. Yes, gag. Okay, so last episode we said that we were available on Spotify. We're now available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, as well as some other streaming websites for podcasts like Anchor, Breaker, and some more. They'll all be in our Linktree link, which will be in our description, so make sure to check that out. Also in the description there will be info on charities and petitions you can sign for the Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps, and we'll also be posting about that on our social media, which is
at @wakeup_podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Gang.
She's on it. She knows. But yeah,
Oh dear.
that officially brings us to the end of the episode. We hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah,
I'm glad. Thank you guys for listening. If you made it to the end, congratulations. I don't have anything for you other than this. Thank you.
You're a great person. You've done so well.
You are an amazing person. Let there be light and love in your life.
Yes. May God bless you.
Yes. Mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Let's go.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.